Hey, what is going on, Fan Clan? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny Phantom. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful week. Happy Wednesday. Before we get into things too much, I just want to remind everybody that we do have a contest going on right now for 3 booster boxes of Vivid Voltage. So if you are looking to get a booster box of Vivid Voltage and not have to pay anything for it, there are 3 different ways that you can win. One of them is actually on this channel. Just make sure you're subscribed. Go back to my last video talking about Vivid Voltage, where we opened up a box to compare the print quality from the previous first print run. Just leave a comment, leave a like, and you're entered to win. We're going to choose winners for that on Sunday. Then there's also an opportunity to win on Instagram. You can just go follow me at danny.phantom for details on that. And then there's also an opportunity on Twitter too, Danny__O. So Danny with 2 underscores and then O. The links will be in the description down below. But we're going to choose winners on Sunday. Opportunity to win Vivid Voltage booster boxes. We're going to do 3 winners, which is super cool. Before we get into anything else, just your Bucks talk for the day. I was a little bit disappointed with the game last night, but not as upset today as I thought I would be. I thought there was a lot of good things that came out of that game. Obviously, Giannis coming back is a huge, huge deal. We dodged a bullet with that injury. Unfortunately, they couldn't pull out the victory. They looked a little sloppy, a little lost in some areas. Their defense was super suspect at times. They committed a lot of unfortunate fouls, unnecessary fouls, and then a lot of point-blank shots that they just completely whiffed on when they took down the offensive rebound. So they have to learn from that, grow a little bit, and hopefully we'll have a better result tomorrow night. That's all the sports talk we're going to have for today, and we're going to get right into it because I want to talk to you guys about battle styles, and I want to talk to you a little bit more about Shining Fates. A couple weeks ago, we recorded some data analysis videos where we went over price decreases from Hidden Fates and then price decreases from Shining Fates, and we're going to do the same thing today with battle styles. The reason I want to do battle styles is because it came out roughly around the same time as Shining Fates did. But with battle styles, I think that the drop in the percentages that we are seeing are more consistent with what we see when we have sets that release. So we all know that when a set comes out, the pre-order pricing for singles, and immediately when a set releases, singles are at the top of their game. If we have patience and we don't fall to that FOMO aspect of things, we don't pay those obscene prices, those I need to have these cards first prices. That's why you have a lot more product open, and then singles kind of drop quite a bit in price. Very rarely does it happen. It has happened in the past, but very rarely does it happen where singles increase over time. I can say like Zacian V was one example, Reshiram Charizard was an example, Mewtwo and Mew, that tag team was an example, just because those were significant cards during competitive play and everybody kind of needed those right away for events. We don't have competitive play going on right now, unfortunately. So until that starts back up, we really don't have to worry about that happening. So when a new set drops, if you're somebody who's just really looking at maybe opening up a little bit of product, but you want to get the singles, waiting a few weeks, those prices are going to tumble way down compared to where they are at the beginning during that pre-order process or during that first wave of releases. If you wait a few weeks, those prices drop. The reason I wanted to talk about Shining Fates last week was because those prices dropped considerably more than what I have seen in the past. And I know there's been some comments on the last video talking about how this is kind of a normal thing. It is normal for these products to drop in price. It is very normal for these singles to drop in price. But I want to use battle styles as a comparison because I don't think that Shining Fates price drops are normal. I think they are way, way above normal. I think that that set is dropping significantly more than what a normal set does drop. So we're going to look at the data from battle styles and just kind of get a better understanding about where Shining Fates lines up. So I'm going to pull up my screen here. We got battle styles right at the top. I took 26 cards, I think, from battle styles. We looked at a video that we recorded a few months ago, so this was back in March, where I went over not necessarily pre-order pricing. I believe this is right when the set came out and prices were already starting to drop. So these aren't quite pre-order pricing. I did take the market price again from TCG Player, which is what I've been doing in every video, so I want to stay consistent because I think that's super important when we're looking at calculating numbers and looking at data. But we're going to start out here and go over that alternate art Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. That was selling for $222 right when the set came out. It is now down to $89, which is a significant drop, only almost 60%. The Tyranitar V actually has held on very, very strong, and I think that that is the lowest drop out of all of the cards from Battle Styles. So the alternate art Tyranitar V was $135 when the set dropped in July. Now it is down to $101, so that's about a 25% 65% decrease. The alternate art single strike Urshifu VMAX was $130 in March when it came out, and now it is down to $45 in July. That's a significant drop. That's 65%. I think that's our second highest, our third highest one. The Houndoom Secret Rare has also dropped quite a bit. $64 when the set released, $39 in July. So that's a 39% decline. Then we're at the Rapid Strike Urshifu alternate art. So this was $57 when the set first came out, $23 now in July, which is about a 59.65% decrease. A big difference between Battle Styles and Chilling Reign is you can kind of see right away the hype when a set comes out, because Battle Styles doesn't have too many cards that pre-ordered or sold right away on release that were over $100, whereas Chilling Reign, for example, had a lot of cards that were at that $80, $90, $100 mark compared to what you see with Battle Styles. Which is very interesting, and just kind of shows you how much more popular and more excitable the set was for Chilling Reign than what we saw with Battle Styles. Phoebe, the Rainbow Rare, $56 when the set came out in March. Now it's down to $29. Karina's Focus Rainbow Rare, $56 when the set came out in March, and now it's down to $18. So that, I believe, is the most significant drop we've had, and I think that's because the pull rates on Karina's Focus, the Rainbow Rare, was actually a little bit better than what a lot of the other Rainbow Rares were. Karina's Focus in general, the full art also was, I think, a lot more. We do have a more significant drop down below, but that was something that was pulled a lot more than I think a lot of people were anticipating. It was kind of an easy pull, and I think we looked at that. We saw that when we started opening up our product. The Secret Rare Octillery went from $54 down to $20, so that's a 63% decrease. Cheryl, the Rainbow Rare, $50 down to $25. That's a 50% decrease. Then we've got Phoebe from $49 down to $26. That's almost 47%. Single Strike Urshifu VMAX, the Rainbow Rare, went from $49 down to $26. That's almost 47%. The Single Strike Urshifu V alternate art went from $49 down to $19. So that's a significant dip. That's about 61%. Cheryl, the full art, went from $46 down to $20. That's a 56.5% decrease. And then the biggest one that we had in Battle Styles was that full art Karina's Focus, went from $46 down to $11. So that's a 76% dip. That's a significant drop. The alternate art Empoleon was $45 upon release. Now it is down to $30. The Level Ball Secret Rare was $36. Now it's down to $19. The Single Strike Style Mustard Rainbow Rare went from $35 to $12. That's a 65.7% decrease. That is a significant decrease, but again, like Karina's Focus, I think the Mustard cards and Karina's Focus were a lot more prevalent, a lot more pulled in the set than what I think originally people were anticipating, which is why these dips are a bit more than what some of the other, like Phoebe and Cheryl, that you're seeing. They're not quite as significant as what you would see with the Single Strike Mustard and the Karina. Knight, the VMAX Rainbow Rare, went from $35 down to $16. The Rapid Strike Energy Secret Rare went from $30 down to $16. That is a 46.6% decrease. Then we've got the Victini VMAX Rainbow Rare, went from $29 down to $16. That's almost 45% of a dip. Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, so this is just the normal VMAX, went from $29 down to $12. That's 58.62% of a decrease. Tapu Koko VMAX, the Rainbow Rare, went from $25 down to $12. That's 52% of a drop. The Rapid Strike Style Mustard Rainbow Rare went from $25 down to $13. So there's a Rapid Strike Mustard and there's a Single Strike Mustard. This set was kind of confusing at times. I went from $25 down to $13, 48%. The Bruno Rainbow Rare went from $24 down to $14. Then we've got Flapple VMAX, which went from $22 down to $12. That's the Rainbow Rare. So that dropped 45.5% about. And then finally, the Empoleon V is the final card that I pulled. Went from $20 down to $9, which is a very, very big drop, actually. 55%. So I do think that Battle Styles, the dips that we see here, I think these are very normal. You see a lot of times when a set comes out, 40%, 50%, 60% drop, 30% drop in some cases. For the most part, you're going to hover right around 40 to 55 or 50% drops when a set comes out to about a couple months after the set has been released, because a lot more product has been opened, and these could continue to fall a little bit. We had this huge giant reprint that came out for Battle Styles, and I expect the same to happen with Chilling Reign when that reprint comes out next month. But when you think about how cheap a box is going for now, you can find a Battle Styles booster box for $90 or even less in some cases, $90 to $100 in a lot of different areas. These cards should drop quite a bit I mean, these cards might drop a bit more yet as more product continues to get open and things like that. And that's what we'll see with Chilling Reign. I think as more product gets open, those box prices will come down a little bit, and the singles might come down a little bit too. But the thing that I wanted to look at was how this compared to Shining Fates. So you can either go back and watch the Shining Fates video, but one thing I did want to talk about here that I put at the bottom is I just went over the significance of the dips because I thought that was an important thing to look at. And I'm going to change this Battle Styles one here to 70% because we did have that Korrina's Focus that dropped over 70%. But for Shining Fates, out of the 24 cards that we pulled compared to the 26 cards that we pulled for Battle Styles, there were 6 cards that dropped over 60%. And then for Battle Styles, there was only 5 cards. So a bigger sample size, not by much, but a couple more cards, a bigger sample size. There was only 5 cards that dropped more than 60%. But then when you look at some of these higher numbers, Shining Fates, the cards that dropped over 70% from where they were upon release, there were 6 of those 24 that we looked at, versus Battle Styles, there was only 1 of the 26 that we looked at. So only 1 Battle Style single of the 26 that we surveyed dropped over 70% compared to Shining Fates. Those top 24 cards that we looked at, 6 of them dropped more than 70% from release down to where we were a couple weeks ago. And then finally, that 80% mark, that mark you do not ever want to be at. I mean, this is a huge, huge drop in price. Shining Fates had 1 of those 24 cards that dropped over 80%. Battle Styles didn't have anything even close. Like I said, the biggest one was this 76% drop from Korrina's Focus. That seems like it's kind of an outlier here at some point because it had no other cards that dropped more than 70%, but it did have 5 cards that dropped more than 60%. So I do think that there is going to be a huge decrease in price after the set has been released for a few weeks. I think we can all agree on that. But I think what's important to look at is Shining Fates dropped more significantly in a lot of different areas than what you see normally. Battle Styles looks a little bit normal to me, outside of like Vivid Voltage, which didn't drop too much at all because it was such a short printed set when demand was so high. There just wasn't enough out there, but now we see singles starting to come back down a little bit for that set as well. As much as it may be because the market is falling, it's also because there's more product being opened, more product available, and things like that. But this is very normal to what you'll probably see with Chilling Reign, what we saw with Rebel Clash, what we saw with Sword and Shield, what we saw with Darkness Ablaze. A lot of times you're going to get those drops that are anywhere between 40, 50, 60%, but very rarely do you have singles that are dropping 70%, even 80%, like you do see with Shining Fates. So I just wanted to put that data out there to give you guys a better understanding of where this is, where Shining Fates kind of is. It's just in a really weird spot. I think there's a lot of cards that can be picked up on that set if you can find cards at a decent rate, especially with coming up to competitive play. I think that we'll talk about that either later this week or next week. When is the right time to start buying to prepare for competitive play? Because I do think once that gets announced, some of these singles are going to start going up in price because people are going to start needing those cards for their physical decks, and that's something that we're definitely going to want to pay attention to. But I hope you guys all enjoyed the information. Make sure to check out the contests again. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button down below. I really appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for everything, and until next time, guys, peace.